All right, we are live for the inaugural vConferenceCon, the first of its kind, where we're bringing industry MSP events together to get to speak to the vendors in one place and tell you about their various events and why they think you should be investing your money in their events and to get in front of MSPs, get that ROI. But we wanted to try to bring as many together. I think we have 20 or 21 presenting today, so it's definitely a lot from the industry. One of the things that we wanted to drive home, to the vendors, but also anyone here is, is trying to be as transparent as possible. We've definitely gotten feedback from the vendors previous to this event, and I know one of the main focuses, really honing in on how many MSPs are going to be attending these events, realistic numbers, and so we've definitely given as much feedback to the vendors as we can as far as what you all are looking for in these presentations. In terms of the format, there's 3 different time slots. It's either 5, 7, or 10 minutes, and it really depends on the size of the organization. So obviously ConnectWise has a series of events versus maybe a one-off regional event, things like that. So that there's some different reasons for more time allocated. And we'll perfect this. This is the first time we're doing it, and I think we'll shoot to do one in September, October, potentially. So that's as we all are starting to really think about our budgets going into 2024. That'll give us an opportunity to really hear from vendors early on. So taking that into consideration, and just a couple other notes, because you'll hear from tons of different vendors from the space, but we did invite a few that weren't able to make it, so I do want to make sure, again, just being transparent. Right of Boom, MSP Geek, Tartech, James Kernan's Millionaire Mastermind, they were all invited for a variety of reasons, maybe couldn't make it based on scheduling, so I just wanted to be clear on that. The only one we did not invite, just again for full transparency, was the channel company, CRN. They considered us a competitor from like day one for whatever reason, so they've not played nice with us, and so we didn't invite them. So that's just being fully transparent about why they might not be here. And then CompTIA is in their SKO right now, so they're doing their sales kickoff. So unfortunately, they are not able to make it today. But hopefully, everybody knows about a lot of their different events. And if you have questions, we'll give you the contact information for anybody at CompTIA, but you can also reach out to us, and we can give you any potential information we can provide as well. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this quickly. So we'll try to kick things off, and without further ado, bring on my friend Sean Alardo from ConnectWise, and Sean, give you the stage.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
I'm glad to kick off the inaugural event with you. It feels like we've had a lot of inaugurals in the last 9 months together. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Of course. So I will give you the stage right now.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. I hope everybody can see it. I'll ask Matt because I can see his face still. Can you see my...
Yep, I can see your screen. You're good to go.
Perfect. So I feel like when I start this off, it's going to seem like you and I planned this, Matt. When you said about ConnectWise, there's a series of events. We have a lot going on. So I'm going to preface this with, well, if you don't know who I am, Sean Lardo. I'm the evangelist for the ConnectWise economy. I came in last year and I started working on things here as an outsider coming in. I invested heavily on conferences. So I put a lot of effort into my own investments when I was working with startups. Now let's talk about what we have. I can hear somebody coughing, by the way. Just don't know if everybody's muted. Okay, so moving on. When we talk about sponsoring ConnectWise, we want to make sure we highlight the fact that you're sponsoring IT Nation. Okay, and we made sure we listed the 4 major events that we do every year. It is for lack of a better term, it's a 365-day engagement almost, right? when we talk, and we want to break down all the areas of the attendees, the profiles that you'll see here, because when you're going to invest into these conferences and what you're going to do for the year and what you're going to budget for, you want to make sure you're talking to the right audience. Huge part of when you go after this. Now, ConnectWise, as I mentioned, when we put together these events, most people watching this probably have been to or heard of IT Nation Connect. It is our biggest conference of the year. We have actually, even for last year, we had the hurricane coming through and we still had a huge audience. What you can expect though from the conference like Connect is tons of engagement, but the placement of booths, everything, the work, the flow of the audience is all on point. And again, me coming from the outside in originally, this is one of my favorite conferences as a sponsor, because there wasn't a time that I didn't come back with a lot of engagement, a lot of leads that led to a lot of business, plus a lot of learning, a lot of speaking sessions for me to sit down and learn a lot from the best. So, but IT Nation Secure, we launched this several years back. It's become rapidly one of the most successful events we have. You can see that takes place in June. So you're talking about end of year and mid-year, 2 large events. It is security focused, of course. 2,000 attendees we had last year, which was great. Caters to them, but you can see again the breakdown. If you haven't noticed, we have a lot of owners that attend all these. IT Nation Evolve. When we go into this Evolve program, it is a peer group. So you're talking about more mature MSPs. IT Nation Share. Oh, speaking of which, Evolve meets every quarter. IT Nation Share. We have quarterly meetings that are regional for users. So you literally have between all of these events, the ability for you to be engaged with our community all year long, month to month, quarter to quarter. The goal for us is that you should be able to find yourself in a position where you are getting engagement to the utmost. Now, moving on to some of the questions people are typically asked between booth layout, food service, booth times, and whatnot. Again, if you have not been to an event here with us, you will find, though, coming to the event, that you'll get a lot of exposure. The layout is it is completely optimized for you to get as much exposure and engagement as possible. Me personally, every time I went to the IT Nation Connect, I did get a lot of engagement. I generated a lot of leads. I wrapped up my year and was able to start off in the following year with a very nice pipeline. The food, aside from dietary needs, obviously we will address dietary needs, but placement of food and whatnot, we typically try to keep everything within the area of the solution pavilion. We want to make sure that every single person here has the ability to get resources, to find leads, to be able to engage. Booth times, we keep it away from the heavy traffic away from areas. So booth times are always at the right time for you to have everybody you need coming to your booth, that you have the exposure that you're required to be there for. Electricity, Wi-Fi, again, if you need something special, you can pay for it, but we do provide the essentials for free as far as Wi-Fi. There's the conference Wi-Fi and whatnot. Shipping varies by event, but the reality is that we use Freeman like a lot of people for a lot of conferences, and anybody that's been doing this before knows Freeman charges. MSPs versus sponsors. One of my favorite things about when I was sponsoring the events was that I knew exactly who the MSPs were. So by one major piece, we always put the baby blue necklace on the lanyard. It made things so much easier as opposed to trying to look down at somebody's badge and seeing what they were. So it is definitely addressed who's who between vendor to sponsor, as far as sponsors, speakers, and MSPs. I love this question here for brand new, especially because of being on the channel program and talking about this. We do offer first-time sponsors, but we also have a pitch up program for emerging vendors, which Matt and I did. They graced us with allowing us to use their venue for the pitch up competition for the preliminaries last year. I'll get more into that in a second. Now, I mentioned when you deal with ConnectWise, you're not sponsoring one event. You're sponsoring an entire community. Okay, so as a vendor, you have the ability to sponsor all the events I mentioned so far, but you also have the ability to be part of a longer term investment with us for growth. So whether we're talking about you being involved in the event program, which is about integrating into our platform, getting more exposure into our audience, also working with our teams between the marketing team, the event team, and whatnot, it's all there for you, and you get acknowledged that you are part of this. Which for starting vendors that are coming up, it's a big deal for them because it also gives them the ability to co-brand with ConnectWise. The ConnectWise marketplace, again, another ability for you to actually get in there, promote yourself, have banners running, marketing, and actually get the attention you need. make it easier for these partners to find you. I mentioned Pitch It. Back to Startup Accelerator, whatnot, you have the ability to do this at half the price. We offer discounted kiosks. I shouldn't say half the price, but we do have a Startup Alley. You have the ability to sponsor that between IT Nation Connect and Secure. Also, there's a way to win. So any emerging startup vendors, and I know a lot of them are watching it right now, they should definitely refer their friends, and you guys should do it. It's a free incubator program with a chance of winning $70,000. Just to provide context as to the size of the community we're in, this, and I think we're sharing these decks with everybody, but you can see the size of ConnectWise as a community. It doesn't stop with just those 5,000 at a conference or 3,000 at a conference. When you're part of the invent and the marketplace and you're part of the community, you're getting access and you're getting exposure to this entire audience. All I would say is, I showed in the previous slides, I showed you 2 people you can talk to for the invent program and for sponsorship. Davina is who you want to talk to for sponsoring. If you're interested in an event, you talk to Andrea. Their contact details are on. There's also a QR code. One last thing, the next conference coming up for us, IT Nation Connect in the UK. It is March 20th to 20th to the 22nd. We have a deadline for January 20th. If any of you want to get a hold of Davina, I would highly recommend you do so if you're in the area. We are global. We have a lot of people that attend that. We still have some limited options for sponsorship. You should definitely check it out. And I think there are some discounts, but I'm definitely not the salesperson. And Davina, I'm sorry that I said that, but yes. That's all I have, man. I can't hear you. That might be me.
All right. Well, no, it was not you. It was me. No, it's awesome. You came in 2 minutes under time, so we appreciate that.
See?
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Thanks.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. So next, we're going to bring on Dave Siebert from SMB TechFest. Dave, the stage is yours for the next 5 minutes.
Perfect, Matt. Totally appreciate it. Glad to be here with everybody. Let me go ahead and click on screen share. Get this going correctly. All right. I think, Matt, does it look right?
Yeah, if you can, Dave, if you can, there's like the screen, if you can hit it, the small X on that one. Yeah, right. Yep, perfect.
Terrific. So this is not necessarily about me, but one of the key questions Matt asked is how is your events different? And I'm different in the community because I'm a live, actual functioning partner. And I think a lot of events are not run by solution providers, and in my case, they are. So when I'm working with partners, I am a partner. I understand what their needs are. I'm involved in a lot of things, including Microsoft as a worldwide influencer for 12 years. So I get to hear direct feedback on what's coming, what's leaving, what partners are needing, and I leverage that to build the event. And that's the reason that I share this, because it's a unique perspective that I bring toward the event community. And let me click here so that we advance the slide. So I want to share a couple channel brands that I have with you. The first one, which is our primary go-to-market, is SMB TechFest. SMB TechFest has been around for 12 years now. We successfully completed 47 shows, and it happens quarterly, 4 times a year, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. To answer a few really fast questions, yes, we have dedicated sponsor time when nothing else is happening except the MSP partners visiting the sponsors. Yes, we feed our sponsors. Some events do not. Always hot food. And we have main stage time readily available. And a lot of the larger events, main stage time is not always there. And attendance-wise, mid-200 is pretty typical. Our list is in the mid-400 of the registrations that you receive. And we have no Freeman fees. So woohoo to share that with you. And we make things really easy. When it's time to ship out your boxes, you leave them in your booth and our team takes care of it. So a lot of things to make it really friendly for you. And I'm going to move to the right, Pro Tier peer groups. Also been running Pro Tier peer groups for about 14 years. They're larger partners. Smaller is about 3 million, larger is about 44 million. And 3 groups: principals group, service ops, and sales. So a great way to meet and engage partners. Third one is SMB Technology Network, which has been running for 17 years. That's really an online community. They don't meet in person. They meet online, and we do everything through Zoom, etc. And then lastly, podcasts, 3 podcasts. Voice of the Channel, that's been running for a couple years. MSP Chat, that's fairly new, that I do with Eric Simpson. And Security Upfront, that's just now launching. So quite a few opportunities for you to engage with. I did toss this out here really fast. Our industry is all about relationships and performance. The name of the game, and I know that too. So I got some great testimonies. These are last year, so some of these people have moved around. But Rob Ray, top revenue producing event. At the bottom, Adam, one of the best events that he's been to, and we really did our homework and delivered. So hopefully you see that, and we'll absolutely deliver for you too. This is pretty typical of our sponsorship lineup. This was our sponsorship lineup last year. You'll notice a little unique from other events. We have Google Chrome Enterprise as diamond level partners, Android Enterprise, Microsoft, and you recognize a lot of the others. So but this is pretty typical of our sponsorships and vendors that you'll find at the events. And I did put this up here because it's really unique, and that is, while a lot of events may have a speaker that climbed a mountain or they're in the military, when we're choosing VIP keynote speakers, we're going after who partners really want to hear from, which is CTOs from other businesses, CIOs from businesses, key people at Microsoft. And I have to tease and have fun and say I got Michelle and Jay McBain at a dual live at the same time together. I don't think that's happened at too many events. So I have pretty good connections, and I bring in what partners really want to see. That's the attraction that brings them to the show.
And Dave,
this is
we're
the last slide.
Up against the time now.
Last slide. I invite you to learn more. SMBTechFest.com/become a sponsor. You'll get more information. You can see a 1-minute live video of the event. I appreciate the time, everybody. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Alrighty. If you don't mind, hit the stop share. We're going to bring up Crystal next, right after stop share happens. All right, perfect. So we're moving along, and you'll see that Caitlin is also kind of giving everybody a little feed of who the vendor conferences coming up next are. You can talk about it. Okay. So I'm going to bring up. You want to make an appearance too? Okay. Now everybody has to feel. We're having our executive meeting, so we're all in the one place for like the second time since we launched. So everybody's excited. All right. So Crystal, without further ado, I'm going to give you the next 5 minutes to talk about the 20s Vision event.
Thank you, Matt. Hello, everyone. Give me just 1 second to share my screen. Okay, can everyone see this okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Awesome. So to start out, I thought it would be helpful to share what the 20 is for those of you who do not know. So the 20 is basically a group of MSPs who came together to grow and scale. We perfected a single service delivery model, which means that we seek out best-in-class products and standardize on them. So great opportunities for vendors. Vision is actually where we found a lot of our new vendors that we start partnerships with. So good opportunity for you to interact not only with MSPs and IT professionals, but with the 20 as well to establish a partnership. So the event is August 22nd through 25th at the Star in Frisco. If you're in Texas, you're familiar with this. If you're a Cowboys fan, this is where their practice facility is. If you're not a Cowboys fan, it's still a very cool venue. It is actually the first venue that we have gone back to for a second year because the feedback was so great last year. So sponsorship opportunities. We set the event up a little bit differently where we don't put the vendors off in a ballroom or a separate area. The booths are actually right outside of the main event, so you have to pass them to go in or out of the event. The feedback on that has been great because you get lots of interaction with people. We have parties every night. We have a happy hour on the field, a rooftop party, just lots of interaction. You know, one of the best things that we hear about the 20 is the community. These are all MSPs who are in growth mode. So they're looking, like I said, to grow their MSPs, their larger MSPs. Really a great opportunity for you to interact with all of these individuals throughout the event. So this is what the schedule looks like. We kick things off on Tuesday with that welcome reception on the rooftop by the pool. We have live music. It's always a good time. And then Wednesday and Thursday are our main days. And then Friday is for members only. And this event was previously open only to members of the 20. We opened it up in 2019 to all MSPs, to prospective MSPs. And we have about 300 MSPs with about 400 people total attending. A little bit about the venue, like I talked about again, if you're a Cowboys fan, it's awesome, but it's also great because there are lots of restaurants and bars in the area, so vendors have opportunities to take out groups to dinner and to do things after the events. Different packages that we have, and I'm flipping through this pretty quickly, but if you have any questions, you can go to the20.com/vision or reach out to me. We're happy to answer any questions or set up a call. Lots of add-on opportunities. Some of our vendors from last year. I'm not sure how I'm doing on time, Matt, so I tried to flip through this pretty quickly. But if anyone has any questions.
About 2 minutes left.
Oh, awesome.
And Crystal, just real quick, just because a question came in, can vendors attend was a question.
Yes, absolutely. We've had that. We've had vendors who were on the fence about sponsoring. And actually, we just signed one last week that came last year and said it was just a phenomenal event, and they were clamoring to sponsor this year. So yes, if you're not sure you want to sponsor, you can do that. You can register and attend and interact with everyone.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate you joining us here, Crystal, and yeah, we look forward to being at Vision later this year.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks. I'm impressed. People are actually, in some ways, getting below the 5 minutes or the 7 minutes, depending on what they had. And I kind of joked in the email that now, as vendors, we or the conference people know how the vendors feel now that when we give them these limited times. And so we're definitely, and I see people backstage nodding to that comment. So, a man who needs no introduction. I guess everybody calls you the mayor of the channel, Joel. I guess. And so
a lot of people call me the mayor. I've been given a certificate of award. It says the mayor of the channel. I'll take it. I'll take it and I'll run with it.
All right, so I'm going to give you the. You got the next 7 minutes. Go for it.
Got it. I'm going. Get the presentation running. Okay. How's that? Is that showing the presentation now?
Yep, you're good.
All right. Am I full screen?
If you want to just hit the. Yeah, and then hit the hide.
Got it. How's that?
Now it's just showing your desktop. It did have the other. Yeah.
All right, let's go back to here. All right.
Yeah.
All right. How's that? How's that?
There's a toolbar at the bottom. Click on hide.
There you go. You got too many things in here.
All right, you're good, Joe.
All righty. Well, thank you all again for having ChannelPro here. We are ChannelPro, ChannelProNetwork.com, and the ChannelPro Network. And I want to thank our friends at Channel Program for putting this together. Matt and all the team there, they're fabulous. We love working with them. And one of the things about ChannelPro is we talk to every single day to MSPs and IT consultants and solution providers. That's what makes us different than everyone else. We talk about, write about, and and have a connection with the MSP market. We are the media. We're not just an event company. We're a media company. Some of the other vendors that'll be here will also be media companies, but we specialize in the SMB market, in the MSPs and the SMB market, and that's what makes us a little different. Here's a little overview of who our readers are. It tells you that we really focus on this marketplace, and it's really important to know that our readers are the decision makers. Our readers are $1 million to 10 million on average in their space, in their annual revenue. That's the majority of our readership, and that keeps us going every single day. We do live events, we do virtual events, we have print, we have online, but we're not here to talk about the webinars and all the other things we do. We're here to talk about the events. But there is a lot of research we do as a media company, and our annual marketing to MSP research is unique completely to the channel because it targets the MSPs in the SMB space. No one knows what channel partners and MSPs need more than ChannelPro does. That includes how they want to be marketed to, and how and what they want to learn about. That is really important as a vendor. You should know what they're looking for. So here are some of the highlights that they've given us. They love attending events and webinars. Our readers, they love it. They want to know more about solutions and benefits their customers and how can they boost their profits from helping their customers through vendors. They want to get into cybersecurity solutions, which is very important to them. And they want vendors to provide training and marketing support. They also want advice on how to bundle and price services. These are some of the things that are here on what they're looking for in this report. You want to find out more about this report, email me, joelz@channelpronetwork.com. And of course, at the bottom of every one of these pages, you're going to find a link to my calendar, as well as at the end, you'll get an email address. Also offer my phone number so you can get that. Also, what makes us unique here is that we do the research. We're 50,000 print and digital readers. We're 1 million impressions per month on our site. We're over 20,000 newsletter subscribers. So we're truly the SMB channel. We talk to everyone. We want to give you the best of the audience that's out there. Our shows are 8 live shows and 4 virtual shows a year. As you see, the calendar for this year is full. We have a lot of events. ChannelPro does them regionally so that you get your audience regionally and that you can give them to your salesperson within their buckets. That makes it easier for you. We will do a very good job of recruiting for these shows, and we will also get you the ROI from these shows through those lists that we're going to get from the shows. So coming to our shows gives you attendees, gives you face-to-face. If you're virtual, it's a great way to just talk to the audience and get to know what you need and how you need it for an MSP to go and do business with you. Face-to-face, as I mentioned, our first one is in February. Our virtual show, we have our first one on the 18th of January this month. So if you're interested in those, let me know right away. We're closing up those shows very quickly. We do have some space left. We are selling quickly on those shows. But our shows, unlike many of the other shows, as I mentioned, are regional. So you're going to get that audience from each one of the sections across the country. And you'll see all the different cities that we're going to offer those to you. Sold out. We're selling out quickly. We want you to be able to get involved with us. So before we sell out, please reach out to us. Let us know what positions you're looking for, what you're looking to sponsor, and where you would like to go. All of this is what's available. We give you food. We give you time on the floor. We give you lots of networking. We have a cocktail party on the pre-day, and we have a pre-day event. And we have a peer group that meets on the pre-day where no vendors are allowed currently, but they can come and be part of the other parts of the show. There's a 2-hour cocktail party where there's tons of networking for you to meet with our attendees. And then there's the main day. And the main day gives you 2 hours of show floor time, plus you get to go in front of all the attendees all day long and go out and pull them out and talk to them. So you can network all day if you want to. You have a great sales team, you're going to get a lot of deals from this. You're going to get, as a silver sponsor, you're going to get 2 minutes on stage as an ROI pitch. So everyone is able to speak at our shows. And In the afternoon, we have a full buffet lunch where everyone's invited to that, and everyone will be involved throughout the day. There's lots of branding opportunities. And one of the things that you're going to find about the ChannelPro event is that you're going to be able to meet with our editors. And that is key to a lot of vendors getting in front of their face. Limited time only. Buying now, purchasing from us right now, up until the 18th of this month, we're going to be bonusing some free items you purchase with us. So, but for every 2 shows you book during the year, whether they're virtual or live, you're going to get a bonus with us. You get 6-foot table, you get electric Wi-Fi, you're going to get food, you get networking, you're going to get leads, you're going to get lots of different things, and we're going to make sure that the boxes are at your table, and then when you're done with the show, you pack it up, you label it, we'll get it out for you. So we make it simple. Vendors that have sponsored our show in the last year, we've had lots of vendors as part of our show in the last year, and we continue to grow. So be sure that if you're not on this list, you want to come back or continue to grow with us, be back. If you're here, if not, and you're a new vendor, please reach out to us. This is information about our event. Grab your phone, scan that. Understand what we can offer you. Understand more about our shows. See where we're at throughout the year. Get more information from us.
All right, Joe, I think you're up on time, and I believe you're on your last slide anyways. So
I'm on my last slide, and the last slide is, you want to schedule time with me? That's going to get you time. In that, and we're good.
awesome.
Thank you very much for having ChannelPro and ChannelProNetwork.com. Thanks,
Of
man.
course. Thanks, Joe. I'll be crashing the Dallas ChannelPro event coming up later this year. All right, so moving things along, we're going to bring our good friends from CompTIA, one of the most agnostic communities in our space. And Susan, I'm going to give you the stage. And looks like if you just go into full screen mode, you'll be good.
How's that?
Looks good. And if you just want to hit the hide,
Okay.
and then yeah, X that, and then there's the where it says you're sharing your screen. If you just hit the hide.
Oh, you know what? I went into full mode. That's probably why.
That's okay. It's not that.
It's
It's
not a
just a
big deal.
small toolbar, so you can just go back to it. It's okay.
Okay. Well, hi everyone, and fun to go after Mayor Joel here in the room. Thanks for listening today about ChannelCon 2023, brought to you by CompTIA, your global trade industry association. So, hi everyone. Let's talk a little bit about ChannelCon for this year. First and foremost, it will be held in Las Vegas the first week of August 1st to the 3rd. And a little bit about the audience is everyone that you would imagine in the channel ecosystem. So vendors for you, distributors, and of course the audience of MSPs and all types of solution providers are in the industry associates who actually provide services to everyone in the industry. And what's nice is that we get a lot of great reaction to our event every year. And if you know a vendor that's been to an event, they probably will tell you best. So the satisfaction rate is always pretty high and positive. Last time was 92%, a good return on investment, and you know, a high percentage, 87% said they would recommend it. So we just encourage you to mingle within the industry and hear a little bit more from your peers. So what are the benefits for ChannelCon? I listed about 10 of them here. So first of all, it's all about business thought leadership, networking, education, and fun. So the recruitment challenge allows you to bring your partners on behalf of you, and we waive the fee. Plus, you as vendors could qualify for prizes. So makes it a little more challenging and fun. We do a virtual press office kit, which makes it easy for you to spread the word. So templates, banners, a kit to introduce you to the media that's present at the event. And that's, you know, very easy for you to put together and share out. We do a few different tracks at ChannelCon, but one is a dedicated vendor programming track. So that's for you. You can hear from our analysts, some of the trends in the industry, gives you the ability to stay competitive. You'll engage in great peer-to-peer networking. And one of the most sought after trainings is our channel account management training. We do a 101 and a 201 executive certificate program right on site. So a lot of folks, a lot of vendors bring their regional CAMs for this purpose. We do keynotes that we hope to be inspiration not only for your businesses, but in your life. People like Peyton Manning, Scott Galloway, Shaq. We always have something cool in store, so we haven't announced that yet. We have dedicated hours for the technology vendor fair. So it's 3 days of vendor fair time. There are no conflicts during the vendor times. And one of the nice parts is being your not-for-profit trade industry association is your booth participation is included in your corporate membership at the $13.75 level and above. We have a think and drink lounge where you could sit at any point throughout the event with someone. You have a place to sit and have a beverage. We have community and committee meetings going on at the event as well. So our North America community will have cybersecurity committee meetings, emerging tech, managed services, and our talent and diversity committee. Food and beverage, breakfast, lunch, snacks at break time, and evening networking, everything's included. We also have an event mobile to keep us all on track. And we recruit over 500 MSPs. Just to mention also, MJ Shore is our Chief Community Officer, and MJ owned his own MSP practice for more than 25 years. So he leads the charge here in our group. I also wanted to, again, focus on the networking opportunities because I know that's very important for vendors. And in addition to the technology fair and receptions that we do, again, the Think and Drink Lounge where you could greet peers and meet with colleagues throughout the community and committee meetings. We have a member lounge where you can meet your CompTIA team and brush up on member benefits. We always have a fun party. And at the end of the event, we have a wind down reception and it closes out ChannelCon, and we usually do raffle winners at that time. And last year, because it was the first time we've been live in a few years, people who just kept lingering, like everybody just wanted to hang out. So it was very good atmosphere.
Susan, you got about 20 seconds.
And it's me. So plan for booth selection first week in May. If you can't remember my email address, membership@CompTIA.org.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Susan. Appreciate it. And we're going to keep moving things along here and bring up my friend Tanya from Technology Marketing Toolkit or Big Red Media. What do you prefer these days, Tanya?
You can, whatever works for you guys. We come by a lot of different names. So just want to make sure, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, if you want to just put it in full screen mode and then we'll be good. And the only thing I'll say, back in 2000, I think it was 2019, when ID Agent went to boot camp, I think we still have the record. We closed 87 MSP deals at one event. So I just wanted to, sorry. I'll give you the time.
Matt, I appreciate that.
Yeah, go ahead, Tanya.
So I'm Tanya Gentry, our Chief Sales Officer for Big Red Media. We are known as Technology Marketing Toolkit is our parent company, TMT, Robbins, we go by a lot of different names. So I'll go through these slides really quickly with you guys because we do have a lot of events, and I'm just going to give the high level of the bigger events that we have throughout the year, but feel free to reach out at the end if you have any more questions. So what makes us unique? Our company has been around since 2001. And we are the IT industry leader for sales, marketing, strategy, and coaching. We started and probably still run one of the largest C-level peer groups. Got over 6,000 active members and well over 12,000 active clients. And really big deal for a lot of the different things that we do for you guys, even outside of events. We have a huge list. It's over 52,000 MSPs, MSSPs, VARs, and IT companies. And what also makes us unique is because we are selling biz dev, really, that's what our products are in coaching. You are going to be working or meeting the C-level. So that's really what our events attract. So go into some of the things that you guys can expect at our events. Booth layout. Most of the time, everything that we do, whether it's our large boot camp event or our smaller, you're going to be in the hallway. So it's a very active vendor area. We have all of our food, all of our breaks, all of our coffees, happy hours, all of that will be in the hallways with the vendors, just to really keep pushing for that engagement. We do try to dedicate the booth times, but if anybody's been to boot camp specifically, you know that it winds up being pretty open. So those can be long days, but hopefully they're very successful days for you. We do give you the paid Wi-Fi and electricity. Obviously, if you need something hardwired, there's additional costs with that. But for the most part, we try to make it as easy as possible for you guys. Same thing with shipping. So depending on the venue, but we do try to offer as many options as possible. We have a great director of events in Holly Williams. Most of you probably, or a lot of you guys have worked with her. She's great at making sure that she takes care of you guys in any way you can. For the sponsors versus the MSPs, we have a lot of different levels within inside of our memberships for MSPs in our peer group. So we do have a badge and lanyard that is a different color for each membership level. It helps for the attendees, but then also for the sponsors. You guys can then know exactly what type of MSP you're really talking to based on that. Most valuable things, if you guys can get on stage with us, that we don't allow that very often, as Matt would attest to that, we would say, you know, those are some of the best things that you can do. Breakouts, plus we do a lot of different booth drivers. So we're pretty open to, if there's something that you guys come up with, we'll work with you and see if we can't help make sure it happens. We do a lot of gamification. My goal and our team's goal is really just to get the MSPs to you guys. So we really do a lot with some great prizes. We have cocktail happy hours, lots of really cool parties, just to really help with that engagement. Brand new area we do for boot camp. So we do have a new vendor area. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, we can definitely talk about that. So our events, the big one is our annual IT and Sales Marketing Boot Camp. This was started in 2008, so it's our 16th year running. There will be 12,000 MSPs. That does not include sponsors or staff, and there will be 12,000. We have almost over that registration now. We've actually been tasked with going back to the event space to see how we can even get more attendees in there. So that's going to be an active number. I will say you're probably looking between 850 to about 950 unique MSPs in that number. That's about a good guesstimate for that. That is in Nashville, and that's coming up April 11th through the 14th. We are on a wait list for that, but still trying to get everybody in that we can. Some demographics about boot camp you can see, and I think these are all getting sent out so you guys will have a better idea. Most of the attendees are going to be $1 million plus, the highest percentage of that, and you know, have 100 plus companies. Though we do have some smaller ones that are still you know, working with us and giving that opportunity for you guys to meet with them as well. Producers Club, this is our top tier group. So this was also founded in 2008. There are 275 unique MSPs, and this is invite only. You can't buy into this group. So we have lots of, again, different levels of our peer group, but this is the top level and one that is by invite only. Have to have $1 million minimum in revenue, and their average is about $3 million. So they do have quarterly events, boot camp being one of them. The other three you can see, we've got one coming up in San Diego, and then Q3 and Q4 are here in Franklin, Tennessee. Road shows, these are things that we've been running now for about 12 years. This is in the fall. It is a new format. We wanted to go from having 5 or 6 locations to really just 3 major locations so that we could make these much bigger regional events. There will be 300 to 350 MSPs per location, again, not including sponsors and staff, and it will be sort of the same demographics as boot camp. It's going to be something that we take on the road, but that's exactly what we've seen over the last 5 to 6 years is the demographics line up with that. Our newest piece that we've got is the Next Generation Tour. This is brand new. This is something we just started this year. There will be 10 events throughout the year. They're really a one-day event with a happy hour the night before. We are expecting 75 to 100 MSPs per location, and the locations go from, starting next week in Tampa all the way down to Arizona in December. The only 2 months that we don't have anything for this will be April and November. We do also have quarterly demo days. These are virtual events where you are on stage for 35 to 45 minutes, depending on what makes sense for you. You're the only person that's there, and it does have a lead guarantee with it. We actually send the marketing out to have people sign up to come and see your actual demo. So our CEO likes to call it speed dating. I always say she's obviously not in the dating world because 45 minutes with somebody isn't real fast. But this is really, truly an opportunity for you guys to be able to see and really get some good leads out of it. So we've got 4 of those scheduled throughout this next year. And the last thing I really wanted to talk about, one of the new things we are doing at our events is we are giving a free MDF report to all attendees. This is going to be something that we are also sending out to our 52,000 plus MSPs on our list. And this is something that we encourage everybody, even if you're not participating as a sponsor at any of our events, we still want to get your information out. It's free. All you have to do is fill out the survey for the initial push that we're going to be doing in February. We just would like to have the survey filled out by January 31st, but it is something that will give you guys some opportunity to get in front of the MSPs that will be live, and then also to our list. So that's really all I have today. Again, I'm Tanya Gentry. Feel free to email me. I'm sure they'll give you my contact information, but you can also email partners@bigredmedia.com, and we will get you set up with either myself or Drew to talk through what these options are, and then anything else that we may have.
Awesome. Tanya, just real quick, can you confirm for boot camp, are you guys on a wait list?
We are on a wait list. So, but that does not mean that we don't have that we won't have openings. We went on a wait list pretty quickly, so we're working through that right now. We are going back to look at the venue to see if there isn't some more additional space that we can scope out. But we try not to put vendors in any bad locations. So we've not opened it up as much as we possibly could. So we maybe have a few more spaces that we'll be pulling in.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate
Thank
your time. For some reason, camera keeps going off on me, but hopefully y'all can still hear me. And all right, so one thing I wanted to address, and just real quick, as I see some of the comments, and we did ask for people, to different vendors to provide pricing, but obviously keep in mind that there's limited time, and this was a very quick turnaround. We asked from all of the participants in putting this together. The other thing I saw was a question about, MSP attendance, but specifically unique MSP attendance. And I was talking to Caitlin kind of backstage here, and some will provide that information, but just, I would say industry general, if 1,000 MSPs are attending an event, probably 40 to 50% are going to be unique MSPs of that number. So I think it's a pretty good number you can kind of go off of based off of our years of experience and others, but of course you can reach out to the individual conferences to get those specific numbers from them if they're willing to share them. All right, so moving things along, I'm going to bring up, I believe, Dennis from Miller Business Group. Dennis?
Hey, can you see me, Matt? Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good. The stage is yours, my friend.
All right. Thank you very much. Now I get it. The share button is up on the right. Ready to go. And can you see me, Matt?
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's a bar at the bottom. Just click hide, and you're good to go.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm Dennis O'Connell with Taylor Business Group. We have had an annual event, BigBIG, since started in 2018. We did skip COVID year. We will be back at the same venue this year, Diplomat Beach Hotel in Hollywood, Florida. It's a 5-star resort. It's right on the beach. This is a great picture of it. They have 3 swimming pools. They have a kids area. They obviously have a beach, and there's even an ocean there. So kind of fun for people. A little bit about our members. If you look at it from the perspective of revenue profile, about 60% of our members are under $3 million. What's significant about that is that this is the size where a lot of the, they're still making tool decisions. So the vendors that come in, they really have an opportunity to influence the selection and be able to go from there. If you look at our revenue, our members' revenue from how it's broken up, we have very stable, mature members. If you look at the green, that's really the recurring revenue. So most of our members have a very good base, and they are excited to come to the event. It is a unique conference. It's a unique experience. We say it's by our members for our members. And what we mean by that is that, most of the content is provided by so the breakout sessions, we have a committee that helps decide what needs to be presented, and it's presented from the perspective of what an MSP is doing. So a lot of our members are presenting their secret sauce, that, as I say, just because I give you the recipe to a cake doesn't mean that you can necessarily make it taste as well as I do. It is a vacation destination. We had about 25% of our members last year bring their families. So you not only get the opportunity when you're at the bar, hanging out with the members, you also get the opportunity to meet their family. It makes it more personable. We have a number of slots that are called thought leadership presentations, where you're up on main stage. So both the morning of both days is everybody's in the common room, and our sponsors have the opportunity to do thought leadership. There is dedicated booth time. Also, we move. You all know this community runs on caffeine, food, and adult beverages, right? And so for the dedicated partner affiliate time, there's either some type of food or some type of adult beverage going on at the same time, so that we can get our members to, oh man, go away. So we can get our members to come in and interact with the vendors. We also have a unique event on Friday evening where we do awards based on year-long performance based on metrics. There's a variety of partnership opportunities. You can customize your own offering. We had one of our members that wanted to sponsor a intercoastal waterway cruise for our sponsor, or for the spouses. We had about 25 spouses participate in that. What was interesting about that was all the members then, come over and they're interacting with that company, thanking them for, the time and enjoyment that their spouses had. There's opportunities for year-long partnership programs, participate and do thought leaderships, lunch and learns at our business improvement groups. And then we have some fun pre-day activities that will be planned. How do we know the sponsors from others? Just like Tanya was talking about, we have different colored lanyards that identify the attendees, sponsors, and staff. And we do have special pricing for smaller partners, people that are startups under 5-10 employees. We do want folks like that to come, because you never know, they could be the next CompTIA, ConnectWise, Datto. So we want them to come and participate in our community. And on that, I'm Dennis O'Connell. You can reach out to me. Here's my contact information. You all can also reach out to Elizabeth Lisk. And Matt, coming back to one of the comments you said, we will have about 150 MSPs there, about 120 that are unique. Back to you.
Excellent. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate it. All right. So next up is Paco LeBron. Paco, I'll give you the stage. And I apologize. Our video is getting a little wonky for some reason. But Paco, we're seeing your entire screen, so you're good to go, my friend.
Perfect. Am I coming in loud and clear? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Looking good, man.
All right, perfect. Sorry, I had a little pause there. All right, cool. All right. Appreciate it, Matt. Thank you, everyone. My name is Paco LeBron. I am the managing partner over at MSP Unplugged, and I'm talking to you today about TechCon Unplugged. It's our event this year, September 7th through the 10th in good old Woodbridge, New Jersey. Now, why should you be involved with TechCon Unplugged? Well, we're hoping to bring, and I have been bringing the IT community together. And I know it's cliche, but since 2019, TechCon Unplugged is an annual event for IT business owners by IT business owners. The event is geared toward IT professionals that are looking to enhance the way they're doing business with their peers, but also with like-minded vendors. Now, who do you expect to attend? IT business owners, but specifically under 3 million in revenue, about 20 in staff, and they come from across the nation. Although in our previous events, we've had a strong presence with Midwest and East Coast presence. Now, being involved with the event, you get a couple things. We have our in-person event that has about 100 to 150 IT business owners. And yes, I'll get into the uniqueness of those owners as well, as some has chatted before. We also have involvement with the video and audio podcast that we have. We have over 1,500 YouTube subscribers, over 40,000 quarterly, and over 11,000 daily unique downloads of our podcast, and a strong online community. Now, there has been a lot of talk, obviously, with IT business owners, and we really try to strive to getting that attendance of unique IT business owners, because we understand that some will bring in their staff, some will bring others that want to be involved, but specifically, we're trying to make sure that not only are our attendees getting the great value, but we're trying to make sure that you have that value as well. So one of the comments, or at least an example of some of the ROI that we get from our event, I wanted to share a quote from a good friend that we may know. He has commented and quoted that as we're about a month out of our previous event, as of now, we're looking at seeing almost $100,000 of annual recurring revenue coming out of that little show. And as you see that great, handsome gentleman there, that is Michael Crean over at Solutions Granted. We appreciate him providing that quote for us, and just a little example of what our show has to offer. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The booth layout is a dedicated vendor hall. We will have food that is going to be served outside in the hallway near the vendor hall, but we will have dedicated booth times and along with open booth times as well. So if you are conversating with a fellow possible partner or even a current partner and you want to bring them in to talk about some of the new features, you will be allowed to do so and bring them into the booth times. In the booth area. Wi-Fi and electricity will be included. Shipping is right directly to the hotel, and we will have categorizations with the lanyards to understand that who is a potential or current possible prospect or one of my peers versus one of your own peers that may be there, so you can have better attention to who is in attendance. Additional details, we do have a couple great MVP events. We have our Thursday mixer that's going to be on the 7th that kind of kicks off the event. We're going to have a Friday offsite social. We'll have a Saturday offsite social, and really what's important is what is going to be our efforts to make sure that we bring the best ROI for you all. And we're going to have those dedicated hallway times. We're going to make sure that our master ceremony is going to have reminders throughout the actual event and days to ensure that you get that one-to-one interaction. And that's going to be our great Uncle Marvin B over at the IT Business Podcast. And we're going to introduce paid incentives this year, where we're going to have vendor passports and raffle throughout the event as well. For those that are emerging vendors that are looking for opportunities, we do have affordable sponsor opportunities that are going to be available, because as we do focus on a wide spectrum of MSPs and those that may be emerging, we also want to make sure we show the love to emerging vendors as well. If all of that makes sense and you want to see if we are a fit, you feel free to go ahead and contact me at my number there and my email address. And the ranges for our packages, at least for speaking and sponsorship times, ranges from as high as $12,500 to as low as $3,000. And we have our social advertisements and sponsorships as well that we can discuss a little bit further. That's it for me. Matt, I'll go ahead and kick it off. Back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Paco. Appreciate it. Haven't had the pleasure of of getting to attend your event yet, but definitely looking forward to it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and, for some reason, again, my video is a little off today, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to tell you all about Channel Program just for a few minutes. I will be as brief as possible and get into full screen mode here. So hopefully you've heard of us. If you haven't, we're a two-sided marketplace. We launched back in December of 2020 or 2022, I should say. And when you look at our value prop from the MSP side, what we're building is a simplified access to vendors, tools, resources. We really want to become the #1 place where MSPs are evaluating their technology stack, and we know that they are constantly evaluating their technology stack. About 50% of all the chatter online is usually around 2 questions. Who do you use for XYZ? And this product versus this product. I'm sure every one of us has been tagged in one of those conversations at one time or another. And on the vendor side, it's really to create an opportunity, more holistic marketing approach throughout the year, around influence, recruitment, management, and enablement of your MSP community, your partners, and give you access in a way that maybe you don't have, and particularly around the emerging vendors. There's a lot of power that goes into the amount of vendors that we work with, and I'll kind of share some of those initiatives that we've worked on. But just to give you an idea, in the last 12 months, we've obviously started with no registered users in the platform. We're over 6,000 now. We launched product reviews back in August, and we're almost at 2,000. It's pretty wild. We ran a really interesting kind of initiative right around the holidays, and we got 725 reviews in, I think, 5 business days. So it was pretty wild, and we've got about 107 vendor partners that we're currently working with. Okay. As I mentioned, the different reviews, it's a great opportunity, obviously, for you as a participating vendor of our platform to have that peer-to-peer validation. There's some really cool things, especially if you're a paying customer of ours. You get access. I'll give you an example. Mail Protector we ask a question of whether an MSP is willing to be a referral, and it's behind the scenes type of question. I have about 25 MSPs that I can tell Mail Protector are willing to be referral and testimonial partners for them. So we all typically use the same 3 or 4 over and over again, and then we all probably use the same ones together. So it's a really cool, unique opportunity there. And then based on those product reviews, we launched the first real-time, what we're calling stack charts, and it's product specific. So it's an ability for an MSP to come in and see how other MSPs are evaluating their technology vendor partners based on a product specific. And this is real-time data. So you can see Huntress in this category in terms of getting the most reviews and pretty good on popularity in terms of partner satisfaction. But right now, Blackpoint's kind of leading the way in partner satisfaction. But what's cool is if Blackpoint gets 10 reviews in the next 24 hours, they may move up and to the right or the left, depending on the partner satisfaction of reviews. So it is real time, not like Gartner, where you would wait an entire year to have that change. We also launched this thing called Channel Deals, and this gets back to the power of the overall community of 107 vendors. When we launched this, it was with 55 deals, I believe, in total. And again, the idea was for each vendor to come up with an offer, and they can be revised and changed throughout the year. We promote them in our newsletters. We promote them on social media. Again, it's a place where MSPs can evaluate all different technologies, and especially if you're an emerging vendor, it's good to be on that list just from even just an awareness level. Get these MSPs knowing who you are, checking you out. We also launched what we believe is the most centralized calendar in the entire industry, because no one goes down to the webinar level. So any event that's on here is presenting today is 100% already on this event's calendar. But our participating vendors, so the vendors who are listening in, if you're a part of our platform, you can also add your webinars, your demo days, your thought leadership events. That's never existed, and we're going to start doing a promotional thing every week where we say, these are the events happening in the industry this given week. That's really not existed, again, down to the webinar, the roadshow levels. So we're pretty excited about that. I think Caitlin probably is putting a link in the chat for that. So definitely contribute. It's a community industry calendar. The other thing we've added this year is curated meetings. where we bring in 10 to 12 MSPs. It's in a virtual environment, but it's an opportunity for you to kind of say, hey, our target audience is MSPs with $1 to $2 million in revenue and with a focus on cybersecurity. We'll be able to facilitate those meetings. You can call them demos, boardrooms, focus groups. It's an hour for you to do what you will with those 10 to 12 MSPs. But the beauty of it is there's no travel costs and no time out of the office. So it's a really cost-effective way to get in front of MSPs. And again, if you're an emerging vendor, really great opportunity to get immediate feedback on your value proposition. Most of you probably know about our pitch event. That's our flagship event that we launched with last year. We do them monthly. We've added some major changes, I would say, this year that we've gone product specific. So for example, on January 27th, we've got 5 or 6 backup companies that are going to be talking directly to the MSP community. We get about 150 to 200 MSPs on those live feeds. And what's unique is the MSPs attend anonymously. It gives them a safe environment to hear from the various vendors. They do provide direct feedback. You get a market research report. We ask about 6 quantitative and qualitative questions. And the 6 questions, a trigger question where they say they want a product demo or they want more information. So really unique opportunity to get in front of an audience, again, without the travel costs, without the time out of the office. And we do have some general ones in addition to the product specific. And the other major change was we've moved down from 8 vendors to 5 to 6 vendors in each one of those. So it's a more concentrated vendor experience. And by the way, I added chat that came from the MSPs. They wanted chat enabled. We didn't have it originally enabled because of anonymity issues, but we figured ways around that. We also do these top of the funnel thought leadership events. Guessing many of you have either participated in them or at least seen them. We bring in some major speakers, and it's a joint marketing effort. I know for the Gary V one, I think collectively we gave out between, I want to say 800 to 1,000 MSP leads for that. Again, top of the funnel. We just did this holidays. We had 30 participating vendors. The only cost for our participating vendors who were already part of Channel Program was a $500 prize. We drove 2,200 MSP leads. So I think it came out to like 28 cents per lead for that. So these are some of the different things that the power of the collective community allows us to do. And we have a very, probably outside of CompTIA, I think we have the most agnostic community that's out there for vendors. And this is just kind of that validation slide that we all sort of have in this industry. Again, we work with over 107 vendors. Many of them you'll recognize from here. And then just from pricing, it ranges. We've got different packages, and then there's add-ons based on your needs and what you're looking for that makes the most sense for you. So please definitely reach out to us if you're interested in hearing more about what we're building here at Channel Program. We think it's pretty special, and we've got some pretty amazing things coming out in the next 3 or 4 months that we think is going to be extremely disruptive. Yeah, we're just really excited that everybody's joining us here today, and we're going to keep things moving along, I think. So I think I came in under my time slot. So let's see. Up next, we've got ThreatLocker, Heather Hartland. I'm going to bring you up on stage and give you the opportunity to present.
All right. Thank you so much, Matt. Really appreciate you putting all this together, and definitely a lot to talk about, right? Okay, let me up.
Yep, Garrett, can you take over that? I think it's all right. Yeah, we're seeing your full screen there, Heather.
All righty. Let me.
And do you want your video showing, Heather?
Yes. Is it not showing?
Here, I could turn it on for you.
Yes, please.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Thank
And
you
there's
so
also a toolbar at the bottom. There you go. You're good to go.
Got it. All right. Well, great to be here with so many familiar names and faces. ThreatLocker loves events, and it's a big thing for us because the events work. Having the face-to-face time with our hot prospects is what makes a difference, and it's been a key to our growth. So in addition to participating in all of your events, we have our own, and it is Zero Trust World, and it is coming up in just a few weeks. So This is our third year doing this. 2021, we started out with just a couple hundred people. Last year, we ended up with 500 and we outgrew our venue. So we have now moved to the Omni Orlando at Champions Gate, and we are on track for about 800 attendees. Now, who are those people? About a quarter of them are your enterprise directs. So those are IT operations of larger companies, and about 75% of those are MSPs. But what's a little bit different about who attend Zero Trust World, those MSPs tend to come in pairs. So you have usually the business owner along with one of their lead technicians, because we do a lot of hands-on training. So what you're looking at is probably about 250 unique MSPs that you would need at Zero Trust World. So the idea here is that we want to train people in cybersecurity. And if you understand what the hackers are after, then you're better prepared in order to defend against them. And we are joined by a lot of different vendors, not only in the security space, but also business services. They tend to do very, very well at Zero Trust World. So a little bit more about our details. Our booths, we do have an exhibit hall, and it is all tabletops. This makes it very simple for your on-site staff. We also serve all of our food and beverage in the exhibit hall. So if somebody wants coffee, they have to come by your tabletop. We also have our happy hour reception that ends every day in the exhibit hall. So we're doing a fair amount to drive traffic, and we have those dedicated times. But really the hall is open, and there tend to be people that, you know, come in and out throughout the day. So another couple other things to notice about those tabletops: we do include a power strip, we do include Wi-Fi, and of course you're welcome to get additional from the hotel if you like. Shipping is direct to the hotel, or you can bring it on in yourself, because we do not have a drayage company involved that you would have to pay separately. We also want to make sure that you know exactly who is who at a glance. So we use colored lanyards, so you will know who is also another sponsor and who is an attendee and who is a staff at a glance, just to make it as easy as possible. Another thing about our badges, we actually do them double-sided, and the first name is incredibly large print. So no matter how somebody is wearing that lanyard, you'll be easier able to tell who they are without having to do that awkward looking at somebody's belly thing. One thing that's really different about our approach that we've gathered this year is our hosted guest nomination. So every sponsorship includes the ability to nominate hosted guests. So ThreatLocker will pick up the bill. So we'll cover their registration, we will cover their airfare, we will cover their hotel, we will cover their ground transfer between the Orlando airport and the Omni, just because we want to make sure that you are seating the attendees with not only some of your top customers and advocates that you'd like a little more face time with, but also those hot prospects that you really want to be in front of. So this is an opportunity to make sure that those extra special people that you really want there can be there. So we take care of that for you. For making sure that everybody does visit with sponsors, in addition to making sure that the food and beverage, those bars, everything is by your tabletop, we're also moving to do additional things with our virtual event program. So in addition to our on-site people, we'll have an additional virtual audience. So probably about another 200 people from all around the world. And they'll be able to join in for the live stream. You'll have a virtual booth listing there. You'll be able to communicate with any of the virtual attendees just like you would any of the face-to-face ones. And the gamification, we do have a game that will run for both in-person attendees and for remote attendees. And we are custom building different missions that are related to the sponsors, so that way you have an opportunity to make sure that people learn a little bit more about you, whether it's trivia or come meet Bob at the tabletop. We will do things like that in order to drive that attendance for you. Like I did say, we do have a remote audience. So in our in-person audience, we have primarily United States attendees, but we already have people registered from Australia, Canada, the UK, Ireland, and Germany. The remote audience, they could truly be anywhere in the world, and they have been.
About 30 seconds, Heather.
Yep, this is coming up pretty quick for 2023. I do have a few limited spots available, so you just have to let me know, and we can get moving on that. But do plan for 2024. We will be back again in February 2024, and we would love to have all of you. And that is it. I will send it back to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Heather. And yeah, for the folks out there, I'm having some video issues for whatever reason, so I'm not going to come on video. But Garrett's going to, I guess it's automatic. See, it's putting me automatically on video. So looks like next on the docket, we've got Mr. George from MSP Initiative.
How's everyone doing today?
George.
You got me? I'm live. I'm good.
You're good.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now I just got to find the share button. I'm missing it, Matt. Can you tell me, where's the share button at, but big guy?
On the far right, you'll see a media icon. Click that. It'll give you sharing options.
On the far right, top or down?
In the middle. Far right
Sharing
in the middle.
options. Got it. Perfect. Thanks. Sorry for that. All right. So my name's George. If you don't already know who I am, sorry. Bald guy from Philadelphia and just like to bounce around. And when I'm not at an Eagles game, it seems like I'm at a channel event. We started MSP Initiative in mid 2020 as an entity that started off on a bus. And while everybody was at home, we were out on the road doing the bus thing. Well, we parked the bus now after thousands of interactions there, and kind of got to morph the model here going into 2023. So we do twice a week sessions that get sent out to our database and actually go out live. We usually use industry related topics, or just kind of go into a forum style conversation, and those usually happen on Tuesdays, Thursdays, 1 o'clock Eastern time. And then we've had thousands of hits since we've started this in March of 2020. Obviously, you guys, a lot of you have participated in the MSP community block parties that we've been doing for years. 2022 was no different, right? If anything, it was a little bit more interesting. Now that all these events came back to life, we really, somehow by luck, pulled off the one in Orlando with the hurricane, in the middle of that week there with the All American Rejects. So we plan to continue doing those going into this year. We're still working with the various events that we plan to be doing this with, in order to collaborate properly. So stay tuned for that. But there's the staple ones are in the calendar, and then we'll announce some other ones that may be newer to the mix. And last is this new event that we're putting together, and we're doing 2 of these this year. This is called the MSP Community Mind Events. Here are the speakers that we've pulled in from around the industry, a little bit different of a format from a standard channel event. We're actually going to go into more of a workshop model, right? We're going to have these people and many others, and both from a business owner led or decision maker conversation and or a technical style training, where effectively we're going to do a presentation, right? Hey, here's what we're trying to solve for, right? And then we go into a workshop. We've all been to channel breakouts over the years, and we always walk off with the scribbled notes with the I need to look into, and then it doesn't really happen. So the goal here is to actually walk out with something tangible. So I use the example of my buddy Brad Gross, legal extraordinaire. If the goal is, hey, we want to solve for some of the things that are missing in your agreements, MSAs, and bring yours along with you, bring your laptop. Brad would go out, and kind of, present the idea, right? Here's what you need to prepare for 2023 and beyond, and then go into a workshop where you would actually go through and start working with that expert into creating an outcome. You may not complete, whatever that step is, and you likely may need help after, whatever, that session. And so obviously, you'll connect with those experts afterwards. But the idea here is to actually walk out with something tangible. And we'll have owner-led, workshops, and we'll have tech-led workshops so that, you can kind of cover both sides of the aisle. These events are going to be in Dallas, May 8 and 9, and Denver, August 14 and 15. So 2 days. broken out into like, quarters, right? So that we can, have enough coverage to put all the topics in that, anyone that, from around all corners of the industry want to present on and ultimately do a workshop on, we have time for people to do that. We're not going to charge for attendees to join, so we're making it easy for people to actually walk in the door as a service provider or managed service provider to join us. Obviously, we're trying to recruit vendors to obviously help fund this event. Of course, our goal for vendors is that you'll be able to, kind of like Channel Strong, if you're able to make it out, network with people. We feel that that's the most granular way to actually interact with people in the industry and actually go through like a rapid fire and give you guys a little bit of kind of understanding of who's in the room so that they understand who you are and you understand who they are. But our goal is that you're actually going to interact with these people granularly. As we all know, the best part of any event I think we've all been to is the bar, hallway, or curbside conversations. That's the stuff that works all of the time, not some of the time. So I'm not going to take too much more of your time, but you can reach out to my friend Alex Stanners. He's the one that kind of runs point on these conversations for us. If you're interested in, jumping on a podcast, if you're interested in potentially kind of carving out some funds for future block parties, and there'll be, I think, 4 this year, and then the 2 MSP Community Mind events. We're happy to chat with you. And if you're interested in throwing a topic-based speaker out there for the MSP Community Mind events, or you think you can hold some sort of industry, technical training that will help people in the sandbox, then we'd love to talk about having you guys join so that we can, give people a little bit more than an idea walking out the door. That's what I got for you, folks.
Awesome, George. You literally right on the clock on that. Perfect. Thanks, George. All right, we're going to keep moving things along. Garrett, I think you're going to bring up Jesse from ASCII Group.
Everything good?
Yes, we can hear you. You just have to share.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Also, fun fact, I just learned that George is best friends with my cousin at the last IT Nation I was at. So small world, guys. Well, anyway, I'm Jessie Devine with the ASCII Group. For those of you who don't know who the ASCII Group, we're one of the oldest, largest IT MSP communities in North America. And we've been around for almost 40 years, which is pretty wild. And we have about 1,400 MSP IT business owners as a part of our group. So here, just scan the QR code. I can't get into all the nitty-gritty details just due to limited time.
Jesse, are you sharing your slide?
Yes.
Oh, it's not showing your slide.
What? All right, let's try this again. Wait, you can't see my slide? Oh.
No, ma'am.
Haha. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. All right, let's get back to it.
If you want, just click on the hide and remove the bar. Yeah, yep. Perfect.
Got it? All right. Well, good thing I'm not going to go the full 5 minutes. So just scan the QR code here. It has all of the membership demographics about who ASCII members are. So it'll give you an idea of the kind of people that attend our events. So what's really important to note is that ASCII represents the MSP, which makes us incredibly unique in this space. We're vendor agnostic, so we're not really going to be pushing our own product or a competing solution. We're here as a resource to MSPs, and there's a lot of noise in the space. So members really look at ASCII first to see who's partnering with us before they're looking elsewhere. Now, of course, they do look elsewhere as well, but really they do come to ASCII first. So we've been running the channel events since the 90s. Here's a great picture of Jerry from back in the day. And we really understand the right formula for the vendor community as well as the MSP community so that they come back to the events year after year, which is why our events sell out so quickly. And you may remember our events as the MSP Success Summits. And with the natural evolution of our events and kind of the company growing as it is, we've changed the name that's more indicative of the content change that we're making. So we are now ASCII Edge, and our reimagined events kind of focus on business guidance, best practices, providing MSPs with a competitive edge in their business. So this year we're hitting 9 cities across North America. This year it's a 2-day regional event where we have anywhere between 150 to 180 registrants. Now, every sponsor, no matter what level, gets the opt-in list of attendees, so you'll be able to see that list. I know Alex was asking earlier how many of those are unique. Probably 125 unique companies that are attending the event that are MSPs, if it was about 150 registrants, just to kind of give you ballpark numbers. Now, I'm pitching this to you guys right now, but full disclosure, we are fully sold out for all 9 cities at all sponsorship levels. Now, companies do get acquired, contracts fall through, so we do have a wait list going. So if inventory opens up, we can squeeze you in. And there might be some of you in here that were on a wait list that we were able to get you in. So still email me. My contact QR code's at the bottom. And because of the popularity of our event this year, we actually added a new event, ASCII Navigate, which we're really excited about for various reasons, but it's more of a condensed event. It's just one day, just because there are fewer MSPs there as well, and fewer sponsorships available. So this is actually also sold out. Sorry, I hate to be bearer of bad news, but again, you know, inventory does open up every once in a while. So I know I'm giving some sad news that things are sold out. Still email me, because if inventory opens up, I'll let you know. If there's a specific region that you kind of want to visit, feel free to let me know. We'd be happy to have you for a couple hours on some of the main days to check out the event and see if it's a good fit for your company. So I do want to mention a couple things for virtual opportunities. We do have vendor marketing opportunities as well as our ASCII accountability group. We have virtual opportunities there. Just given the amount of time, I won't go into it too deeply, but please email me, Jessie@ASCII.com. More than happy to chat and set up a call and email me. But most importantly, ASCII, we have tons of fun, so be sure to have a good time. All right, thanks everyone. Hope to partner soon.
Thanks, Jesse. Appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, I think people probably notice a common theme. There's a lot of industry events that are sold out really quickly. So you know, we threw this together, you know, because of the need, but we all start budgeting earlier than January. So you know, I think we will do this next year or later this year in a September, October timeframe, so that everybody has a chance to get into some of these conferences that it just seems like some of them sell out, you know, another month earlier and another month earlier. So Gary, let's keep things rolling here. I think we've got Enable coming up next.
All right. Hey, can y'all hear me? This is Lindsay.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, so yeah, just full transparency for everyone. I am jumping in here. We are launching our event, hopefully very soon, maybe this week. So we've had a couple of, obviously you guys know, like fire drills and stuff. So I typically am overseeing our trade shows and the ones that we sponsor. So I've probably worked with a majority of the presenters on here, but I'm going to do my very best to give you a high level overview of our Empower event. So let me just try to share my screen here. Okay, let's see. Okay, can you see that?
And if you want, there's a toolbar at the bottom. Just click on hide. It looks good though.
Oh, hide. Okay, awesome. Oh, and we're back. Okay. All right, good now.
Yes.
Okay. All right, awesome. All right, thanks for bearing with me. So yeah, so Enable, we do, our event is called Empower. We have a theme, Own the Cloud. This year we are going to be in Prague, which is super exciting. Definitely a very interesting location. It's beautiful. And that is going to be May 9th to the 11th. Just to cover off some of the key details, like I mentioned, we're going to be in Prague. We're launching really soon, so you're kind of getting like the first look of all of our details. But yes, May 9th to the 11th, we're going to be at the Prague Congress Center. And then just to give you kind of a high-level overview of what our agenda typically looks like. So 4 days. The first day, we do a lot of boot camps that our head nerds run. Those are very, very useful, valuable, educational. People love those. So that's definitely what Empower is about, is just education. We do have a welcome party as well that night. And then we have 2 conference days. So we do an expo, and then of course the second day we'll do a closing party. And then the last day is when we host our elite and super elite meetings. And these are invite only, but sponsors do have access to all of the networking events, the parties, the expo, so pretty much everything. And then just to touch again on where we're going to be, just to get people excited about all of the locations. So yeah, Prague's definitely a good one, so it should be fun. And then just some high level demographics as well. So of course, we're definitely looking to host a majority of C-suite presidents and founders, but looking to do about 630 overall attendees from all over the world, 9 countries, around the 35 sponsor amount. So our sponsorships are available now. So if you're interested, please email emiaevents@enable.com and we can discuss more. And as I mentioned, we're launching really soon. So yeah, you're getting in kind of the first scoop on this. So any questions we can discuss further, but that's pretty much it. That was my very quick spiel. So thank you. Awesome.
Thank you, Lindsay. We appreciate you being a sport and coming in at the last second. Wow, Prague. I'm gonna have to talk to Enable. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get there for sure.
Join us.
Caitlin called me selfish, but I'm gonna find a way. So, all right, Garrett. So I think we've got Thomas Baker coming up here next. Thomas, we'll give you the. You've got your time for the next 7 minutes.
Fantastic. Let's see here. All right. Good morning, afternoon, everybody. My name is Thomas Baker. I'm the Director of Sales for the Channel Partners and Channel Futures event series. Matt and everybody at Channel Program, can't thank you guys enough for bringing us in here, giving us the opportunity to be part of this inaugural event. I hope to be a part of the one in September later on this year, and even more so an opportunity to connect with everybody out there. First and foremost, our event series is powered by the only media and content destination leading partners forward. That is channelfutures.com, where we publish a number of stories, articles, research, analysis, you name it, as well as provide marketing services and solutions to a lot of our clients we're working with today, a lot of which align with some of the sponsors that attend our events. Our event series is comprised of 3 strategically positioned events throughout the year. First event to kick things off in a major way is our flagship event, the largest independent channel event globally. This last year we saw 7,400 total participants. We're anticipating over 8,000 later this year in May 1st to the 4th. Also co-located there is our MSP Summit, which is specifically, for the IT providers, just, solely interested in MSPs, but then there's also audience members that have sold traditional telecom solutions that are also selling managed services and growing their portfolio in that realm of the business. We also have Channel Partners Europe, based in London in the middle of the year in the summer, and then we wrap up the year with the Channel Futures Leadership Summit with anchor events, the Women's Leadership Summit, the MSP Summit, and the Crown Jewel MSP 501 Awards, which is an incredibly fun networking event where we get to celebrate the world's largest, most successful MSPs. We were founded back in 1997. The original magazine that we launched was Phone Plus. We've evolved over the years, grew into telecom and all the other solutions that are relevant to businesses today. What makes us unique, we're very, very large event. We only have the 3 events per year, but we make those incredibly meaningful. Getting involved in all 3 events, you'll be positioning your business in front of over 1,000 total participants, networking with both in your ecosystem and out of your ecosystem, technology partners that represent our sponsors and exhibitors. And the overwhelming majority of our event are going to be decision makers. So, I mean, there's going to be here 43% C-level executives, but if you go into other categories or groups, owner, founder, principal, general management, now you're getting closer to the 70% of the total makeup of our audience. Looking at all of our events throughout the year, that represents about 4,600 plus total managed service providers. On top of that, though, we provide content and this opportunity to every partner type out there today. So, I mean, we have our technology advisors, we have value-added resellers, we have managed service providers, cloud service providers, ISVs, ICT consultants, you name it. That's one of the keys to I think, extracting value and creating ROI for your business as you sponsor the event. We're not just focused on that one, and I would say that we're probably the largest prospective pool out there as it relates to the sheer number of providers that attend and sponsor our events, as well as the array of partner types. Getting into some of the basics, depending on the event, we have tabletops. MSP Summit tabletop. We have our European event, which is tabletop. So those are very plug and play, simple to execute, doesn't take much, but then obviously provides you with all the time you need to connect with partners that are attending the event. Our flagship event, that's where we get into the 10 by 10s and even up to the 40 by 40 booths, where companies are really showcasing their brand and showcasing kind of how big they are in that market, whether they own their category, hold the market share, you name it. Beyond that, food served, of course. I don't think you can go to a channel event without food and beverages. So we have breakfast and lunch keynotes. Meals are served there. We have concessions. We have networking events. We have hors d'oeuvres during our opening night receptions. When the trade show floor is open, it's the only thing open. We want to put the emphasis on the trade show floor, so all of our attendees and sponsors can experience that together. I'll be there together and have that opportunity to discuss and partner ultimately. We have Wi-Fi that is free, provided to everybody. That's table stakes. We have electricity and internet drop and other ancillary needs that certain sponsors are going to need. That's all in addition to. Shipping, depending on the venue, depending on the event, we do use Freeman. So we're that larger event, we require those general contract services to help us build that event. So they'll be helping you with that. You could send it to their events warehouse. You could send it directly to the conference center. Really what makes sense at that time. I know sometimes we're always pushing these deadlines to the limit. So you have kind of that progressive opportunity to get your materials to the event so that we can bring your presence to life.
About 30 seconds, Thomas.
All right. And then we have, we do identify between sponsors, exhibitors, and our attendees. And we have a number of different events for anybody, an IT provider. We have the MSP 501 Awards in the fall, and we have our MSP Summit in the spring, both key opportunities for you to get in front of small, medium, large, enterprise-facing. And I have a deal here, so I would love an opportunity to speak with you. Thank you so much again for the time, and I wish you all a wonderful day.
Yeah, Thomas, quick clarification question, because it was asked. MSP Summit and channel partners in May. Can you just really quickly talk about, are they separate, or is, I think people get confused about that.
Yeah, it can be. So the MSP Summit is separate. It actually kicks off our event. So almost like a pre-con, we have our day of that. I mean, if you look at our entire, the duration of the event, it's May 1st to the 4th. So the last day of April, that Sunday, we'll actually have an MSP meetup. That's for everybody getting in and preparing for the Monday start time. All day MSP Summit, which leads us into the kickoff party for the entire event, thousands of people. And then we'll wrap up the MSP Summit that following day, May 2nd. And then once that ends, we kind of launch into CP Expo. So happy to dive into that, get a little bit more granular with the details to that, just so we are aware. I would say about 75% of our sponsors at MSP Summit are also sponsoring Channel Partners Conference and Expo. So there's a larger opportunity there and a lot to talk about.
Awesome. Thanks, Thomas.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, appreciate it. And so moving kind of things along, and I think, you know, between that event and Kaseya Connect, which are back-to-back weeks in Vegas, half our industry is going to end up divorced after that 2 weeks in Vegas. It's going to be brutal, but we're going to be there. Channel program is going to be at both. So, all right, Garrett, let's move things along and bring up our friend Jennifer Bleem. Stage is yours, Jennifer.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is like testing my ability to multitask, start the screen, start the mic, start my timer so I finish on time. Awesome. Thank you so much for having all of us here. I so appreciate it. I'm Jennifer Bleem. I am the owner and founder of MSP Sales Revolution. And last year, we had our very first event in Orlando, Florida. We are reprising everything. Same location, roughly the same date, June 13, 14 in Orlando. Last year was a great learning experience for us about how to keep our guests happy and how to keep our sponsors happy, how to fill a room. So this year we expect to fill that room, 150 MSPs there, about 125 unique companies, and we are targeting MSP business owners and salespeople for the technology service providers that are at $1 million in revenue or greater, or those who are truly determined to hit that $1 million mark in 2023. So what makes our event a little bit unique is that we really have a workshop feel to our event. And so we are stopping periodically so that we're not just giving additional information. In the information age, information is not power, it's the application of that information that's super important. And so when these technology service providers are taking the time to future cast and look at their goals, it really creates an experience of collaboration and openness that I haven't seen at other events. So the sponsors and the MSP guests are really collaborating on solving real business problems. And then because we are committed, at least for the next 3 to 5 years, to keep this a bit of a smaller event, that allows you to have quality conversations. I have been at plenty of events as a sponsor where I'm talking to the wrong prospect. They always tend to want to speak for a very long time. And while they're tying up the team, there go 3 really ideal prospects and they disappear into the masses and you never see them again. That is not going to happen at this event because it is a little bit on the smaller side. And then the last thing that makes us different and unique is that because there's time to work on your business as an MSP, it's forcing those guests to have an awareness of challenges that maybe they knew of before, but they didn't realize how much of a roadblock it was. And when they can then turn around and find that the sponsors are there able to solve those challenges for them, they are in great shape and you are in great shape, and that is a match. So some of the details you may care about, the booth layout. You are in the room with everybody. Everybody's in the same room. Again, encouraging collaboration and teamwork. Lunch is served in the hallway, but they have to eat it in the room, which means they leave for lunch, they have to pass you. They come back into the room, they have to pass you again. When they go to the bathroom, they have to pass you. They have to come back in after they use the restroom. They can't get away from you. We are very aware that these events would not happen if it wasn't for our sponsors. So we make sure to take those kind of details into consideration. Lots of booth time. It is dedicated booth time. It's not booth time while the keynote address is going on. It is real booth time so that you can have conversations with your prospects and with your partners. No surprises. Wi-Fi is included. Electricity is included. And then one thing that the team asked me to cover is, do we have anything specifically for startups? We do have a couple of smaller sponsorships. Now, I want to be clear, these are not the kind of startup sponsorships that are way down the alley in the dark recesses where people need like a GPS and a flashlight to find you. You're still going to be in prime real estate. You'll be right in the room with everything else, or with everyone else. And so I would not be a great marketer or a great salesperson if I didn't share a couple of things from previous attendees. Matt Lee was there last year, and he said, I would advocate you come next year. And then Rapid Fire Tools, Mark Winter was there. He was blown away by the content and the conversations that he was able to have. Cannot wait for next year is what he said. So if this sounds like your target market and you're interested in a mid-June event to a little bit of a larger MSP, reach out directly to me, Jennifer at MSPSalesRevolution.com. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Appreciate it. So we're moving along here. I'll give one shout out for Jennifer. I attended last year. So I would say one of the really cool things about her event, you know, and she kind of mentioned the intimacy of it. The MSPs were like, when they were there, they were there. They weren't going off on their cell phone. It was a very, very engaged audience that attended. So I think that, you know, as a testament to the thought leadership that she was able to get at the event. So did want to mention that. All right, so Garrett, I think we are going to keep moving along here, and we're going to bring up friend Tiffany from Build It, IT by Design's event, and there's lots of changes to talk about this year, I believe. So go ahead, Tiffany, it's your stage is yours.
Oh yeah, you know it. You guys see me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
I can hear you and see you.
Perfect. All right, let me share my screen. We all good?
Looks good.
Beautiful. Okay. First of all, thank you everyone for hanging on this long. This is a long meeting, and many meetings as we have. I appreciate you guys sticking on to the end here. First, hi, my name is Tiffany. I'm the event manager for Build It Live. Hang in with me. I'm going to talk like an auctioneer. I have to be really fast because I've got a lot to cover, as Matt kind of alluded to. But we're going to dive right in. I know there are a ton of events happening in the channel every single year, but if you want to create relationships with owners, CEOs, directors, managers from MSPs from around the country, and associate your brand with an education-focused, value-driven, first-class experienced event, then Build It Live is where you need to be. Build It Live is powered by IT by Design, who is celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. Build It Live is our give back channel event designed to keep our channel thriving through continuous growth by through education of our leaders and creating a connected community. For that reason, no, we don't have 2,500 people attending our event, but we do have 700 plus decision makers attending our event. 92% of Build It Live attendees are in a manager position or above. 62% of those attendees are a director or above. So you're really getting in front of the right people. And these MSPs make, on average, $10 million in revenue a year. So these are the people you want to have conversations with. These are the people who you can make an impact, who can make an impact and drive change in their business. These are people who want to make sure that their business is running efficiently, especially during a time when the big R word is popular. And these are people who will invest in new innovative technology and services to make sure that their MSP is the best and brightest out there. These are people who are investing in not just their own personal development, but their team's growth by attending our education-focused event. Build It Live puts its attendees' education to the forefront. Our event is different because our breakout sessions are all education focused. And that means that sponsors are providing the tool, template, or process that helps solve problems MSPs are facing every single day. What we do is we actually collect those templates. We put them into this awesome workbook that attendees get when they arrive at the event. And what's even better is that your content doesn't die there. So after your closing statement during your session, you're not just the thought behind their head. If they want to refer back to your session and what you taught them, they can refer back to their workbook. And we also upload their sessions into our LMS on-demand education platform, Build It University. We're over 700 people and continuing to grow, can view, rewatch, and share your educational content with their teams. So your brand will forever be recognized as one of those who drive value and trust in you. We have a lot of really fun things planned for Build It Live 23, and on September 18th through the 20th in Orlando, Florida, we're aiming to host 700 MSP attendees. That's not including our staff, that's not including the sponsor staff, that's 700 MSP attendees from about 400 unique MSPs. And that's really our goal. And actually, as of December 31st, Matt asked for transparency here, so I'm giving you my numbers. I have 215 MSP attendees registered from 108 unique MSPs. And we still have 9 months to go. So we're just going to keep this momentum going and keep those registrations ticking. And I'll let you know along the way kind of where we're at, so you have a better idea of exactly who's going to be there. We are hosting our first ever pre-day session. Disney Institute is joining us to talk about leadership excellence, employee engagement, and quality service. And I'm really excited about this because who better to learn from than Disney Institute on these topics? And not only that, but Houston, we're going to NASA. We're taking everybody to Kennedy Space Center. That's going to be a really fun offsite and a really unique experience for you to create better relationships with the attendees. And these are just a few examples of experiences that you can sponsor on your add-ons for Build It Live 23. And again, transparency here, sponsors from 2022. I want to make sure that you know that you're heard. Those of you who have already re-signed up for 2023, thank you. Thank you for your loyalty. But please know that you were heard. We heard your good comments, obviously. We definitely like to hear those. But we also heard your feedback. And we've made so many changes this year to try and make the experience better for our attendees and for our sponsors. And we're being so intentional. Sorry, we're being so intentional.
20 seconds, Tiffany.
Thank you. We're being so intentional on what we're doing for you guys. I'm not going to read through all this, but we are moving from New Jersey to Orlando to a bigger space. Everything's going to be in one space. Meals will be where the sponsors are. We're giving you 10 plus hours of dedicated solution pavilion time, a lot of other things. So keep that in mind. Quick overview of our sponsorships, what's available. Starting at gold and above, we do give you the attendee list. We do have a first timers coming in at bronze. And you can go to this website up here, builditmsp.net/live/register to see our full prospectus. And it's actually an e-commerce site. So you can put your sponsorship level in the cart. You can put your add-ons in the cart. Check out online, pay in full, and you get 10% off. All right. So just wanted to put that in there. Email me, Tiffany@builditmsp.net. If you have more questions, I'm happy to answer all of them. Thank you guys for your time. And sorry, my throat.
Awesome. Thanks, Tiffany. Appreciate it. All right. So we're coming up. I think we've got, let's see, four more to go. So we appreciate everybody, hanging in there and listening to everyone, because this is definitely a unique experience. So next up, Garrett's going to bring on Chris Weiser from Seven Figure MSP. And I'm not saying you should sponsor his event just because I'm emceeing in Phoenix next week, but I think it's going to be a pretty cool event. So the stage is yours, Chris.
All right, thanks, Matt. Good to see you guys. Hope you're all having a great day. I am working out of a hotel room in Tulsa, Oklahoma today, so sorry about my background. It's not perfect, but it is what it is. My name's Chris Weiser, former MSP owner, sold my MSP back in 2015 and started a program called Seven Figure MSP, all geared towards sales growth around cybersecurity first, which is crazy because the industry has really taken us there. We have built a really amazing community of MSPs. We have 600 plus MSPs in our coaching program, continuing to grow every day. I signed two brand new MSPs from Australia today. So it's really exciting because we're very unique because we are a worldwide approach. And one of the things that we're really different on is we have massive amounts of live content. All of our coaching program, everything we do is every single week. It's all live. It's all in group. And then we also enable that with our live shows. So our live shows are around the nation. Last year we had 4. We had Phoenix, get all the locations we had because I'm brain farting right now on that. But we had Orlando, we had Charlotte, North Carolina, a bunch of different stuff. This year we have 4 brand new locations. We got Phoenix Q1, I guess not brand new, but we got Phoenix Q1, Everybody Likes Desert in January. That's coming up literally this time next week. We'll be on stage. Matt's going to be there. Really excited about that as our first time MC that Matt's coming on. We've known each other for a long time, so I'm excited about that. We got Q2 in Nashville this year, Q3 in Chicago, Q4 is Fort Lauderdale. One of the reasons that we pick our logistical locations, easy in, easy out for our attendees. We have people coming from all over the nation, all over the world. Our attendee origin location, again, and we also live stream, so we get the ability to have a lot of people come and see us, not only in person, and we average 200 plus for all of our 2022 events. 2023, we already have 250 plus registered for next week with more to come, so we're excited about that. So we got 85% USA, a bunch of Canada, a bunch of Australia, a bunch of UK, and a bunch of other countries as well, and we live stream, simulcast everything. We also have, not only on top of that, we have our social events. We have the largest Facebook group in the channel, the IT and MSP Business Owners Group, that we do regular webinars in, all kinds of branding around that. So tons of ways that you guys can work with us to get in front of our members. Our MSP average size, between 5 and 12 employees. I think that's kind of the standard on the industry now. Our largest client in our coaching program is 52 million a year. So we kind of run the gamut from the small guy all the way up to the large one. And the majority of our MSPs at our live events are over $1.5 million in annual revenue. Our live events are pretty unique because we're doing live training. Obviously we have sponsorship sessions, but it's very similar to what Jennifer was talking about with hers. We have a very workshop type feel. It's important, and then we're quarterly around the nation too. So it's really cool stuff, and it's very important there. You also get the attendee list at every level that you're a sponsor with us. And again, IT and MSSP services are their primary business models, and they're all geared towards growing. A majority, over 80% of our members in our coaching program have doubled their MRR in the last 12 months. So that's something that I really, especially coming from being an MSP, really, really important to me, seeing this growth. Just a couple of quotes from our previous vendors. We have 25 to 30 vendors at every single show. Alex from Lifecycle Insights has been there since show 1. Nicole and her team from Breach Secure Now have been there since show 2 as well, or I think show 1 and 2 as well. So we have a lot of stuff. You guys can see our sponsorship prospectus that you can download. I'm going to have Amanda paste that link in the chat for you guys to see. Here's a couple of other details. We have our contact person, Lisa Compton, that runs our sponsorship stuff. Her mobile number is right there, and her email address, sales@7figure MSP. We have various different live event levels, Diamond, Platinum, and Gold. We have dedicated speaking time for our Diamond and Platinum members, so that's very key, along with a dedicated booth area. All of our meals are included for everyone, and one of the things that I like to do, it's important to me that you know that I care, so I walk around. I'm very present at the shows. I walk around, work with everybody, and make sure that you're happy. I have relationships with every vendor we have, so that's just something that's important to me as the face behind it and the name behind it too. So, and then below the main sponsorship for our live events, you'll see that we have our social sponsorships as well, all available, all there. You can download the prospectus and book your call on sponsors.7figuremsp/prospectus. You can look at everything there. It's got way more details and way more stuff, and you can book a call live with Lisa on her calendar. So Matt, other than that, I'm good to go, buddy.
All right, cool. Thanks, Chris, and I'll see you next week.
Next week, Tuesday. Thanks, brother.
Awesome. All right, we'll keep things moving. Garrett is controlling things backstage, doing a great job, and we're going to bring Julian. Julian, the stage is yours.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you see my screen?
We can if you, just bring your presentation. All right.
All right. How's that?
Looks good.
Great. Here we go. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening up. And wow, people are still hanging in there. I just want to say it's very unique for me to actually see all these events presented. And so great for you, Matt and the gang. Good stuff. I also want to say that for all the vendors out there, pretty much every event you go to is going to be a good thing to do, because meeting MSPs is a great thing. It's important. It's necessary.
And I think a lot of these companies are really trying to produce, present the best solutions out there. So check them all out. I'm going to certainly check out some more. So I'm representing the cybersecurity industry, IOTSSA. Some people may have known this company. We recently acquired this company. It's only about cybersecurity. So if you are doing something else, this is definitely not not event for you. But they've already got over 3,000 members, mostly MSPs, MSSPs, and SOCs. They've been doing this for about 6 years now, and we've just recently taken them over to give them resources so they can actually expand. In our world, in Canada, I'm from Toronto, we've been doing this for about 3 decades in the IT channel. We have a big mission in the globe to make it bigger, better, stronger, and smarter. We do events, award shows all over the planet, actually, and in Canada, we do quite a bit. But if you want to talk about that, you can reach out to my team, but I'm just going to talk about IOTSSA today. So events, the first thing about events that most vendors think about is ROI. And so you've got to really figure out what is your ROI if you go to these events. And we've figured out, obviously it's to recruit new partners, generate awareness, meet and socialize with your peers, learn from what your competition is doing. Some people actually attend, events to find jobs, and some people just want to get away from home. So whatever that ROI is, put it in that. We actually have a calculator, a guide that if you want, ask us so we can get it over to you so you can do an ROI for just about any event. In our world, why events fail is there's just not enough right fit partners, or the same group keeps attending the same events, which is cool, but it just doesn't give you the additional ROI that maybe you need. The other thing is limited exposure to the attendees. So when you have the attendees, doing different events or running around with many, many vendors, it's pretty hard to get their attention. Another big problem is weak skills of the team that's working the event. We've seen a lot of people don't work events properly, and there's way too much talking and just not enough educating and listening. And the biggest problem with ROI is actually poor follow-up. And sometimes, the interest level of the team that's attending are also challenged. So you want to take care of those things. Another important thing about events is you need to have a really great advisory group to make sure that you're doing the right job and they're keeping you on track. And we've recently just added Gavin Garbutt. He was the former CEO of Enable. So we've got a pretty decent lineup, and we're going to continue to leverage their intelligence to see if we can make this thing a little bit better. And I'll explain to you why we got the IOTSSA event in the first place. First, this is our team. We've got a pretty, awesome team. Our team has been doing this now for over 20 years, so we're well oiled in this event game. And, you can reach out to any of them and they can give you some insights. Mainly for us, it's a right size, right target approach to events. So the 5 top problems of events are too many vendors, there's just not enough right prospects or the proper decision makers. They're not reaching a large enough pool of clients to justify investments. Some events are way too long, 3-4 days. It's a lot of travel going back and forth, and it's overloaded with sales pitches. And I think most people would agree with that. The IOTSSA difference is we cap at 30 vendors per event max. We have 100% qualified cybersecurity channel partners that attend at C level. For a 2-day events, we have 300 attendees, and a one-day event, it's 100 attendees. So basically, beyond that, you also get to reach the whole community of the IOTSSA. It's about 3,000 right now, and the eChannel News community of over 85,000. So it's real education with peer groups and master classes is sort of the difference of our events. So for 2023, we've got 5 events planned. Phoenix event is actually coming up in February 16th and 17th. We've already, I think it's 192 registered attendees right now, and we're probably going to hit about 300 for those. We'll see how many is actually ends up showing up, but usually it's about 60 to 70% usually show up. So that's a bit about that. And the real reason why we acquired the IOTSSA event is really because we've been building and launching the cyber security defense ecosystem. And this is probably the first time that most of you will hear about this, but I guarantee you in 2023, you'll hear a lot about this. To solve the cybersecurity problem, we need to have a village. And this is the village that we're building. On February 16th, we could be launching the actual live marketplace. And you're going to see a lot more about this if you want.
About 30 seconds, Julian.
Sorry?
30 seconds. Yep.
All right. Oh, boy. All right. So I'm going to skip through a few of these things. Our format's mostly educational. We have a separate area for expos and food and things like this. I can get you all this information in the actual guide, if you will. These are questions that was asked to us. There's identifying attendee badges and award price certifications, and I'm speeding this a little bit too fast. So getting the most ROI from IOTSSA is really networking, speaking, booths, pre and post news event coverage, and follow-up with leads. I think I'm out of my time here, but just want to say the main difference here, why we are actually different, is because we get to reach the actual community of IOTSSA, the actual community of eChannel News, mastermind peer groups, cybersecurity defense ecosystem. Those are the main differences. And the follow-up is just a matter of reaching out to Sheila and her team. You can download the perspective, and you can get also the agenda as well. Sorry about running out of time there. Cheers.
Fantastic. Thanks, Julian, for joining us today. Appreciate it. All right, we're down to our final two presenters. And Garrett, you're going to bring up Justin's probably waiting in the wings and can probably join us now as well.
Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Let me share my screen. Cool. That up on stage?
Yes, let's go.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Matt and team, for letting me be here today. A huge opportunity for me to talk to everybody today about the ASCII conference, a conference that I started many, many years ago. So real quick, the ASCII conference is a boutique conference catering about the business side of IT consulting, specifically for Apple consultants, and that's where our niche is. I am an Apple consultant, and I learned very quickly when I started my business, a lot of people aren't doing things the same way, and there's 14 different ticketing systems, and how do we control auditing and QBRs and all those three-letter acronyms MSPs love to throw around. So I took that, I put it all together, and I learned the one major thing, which was all of these Apple consultants wanted to grow their business, and therefore I started the ASCII conference. We started in 2015. We were in New Orleans. That was a great show. We have about 60 to 80 attendees. Some of these people are very die-hard attendees, which I love. And we keep ACEs personal. We keep in touch with them, and we keep these things simple. Everyone in the Apple community is already fans of one another for the most part, but we like to keep that going. So a little bit about me. I started off opening my own Apple consultancy in 2008. From there, I started an app company. I've written a couple books. I've been a speaker at a lot of Apple tech events, things like that. And then in 2015, I launched the ASCII conference. So why is ASCII conference different than everyone else you've probably heard of today, or literally every other conference? Well, for starters, it was started by an MSP. We have an MSP mindset. We're not an event company. We're not a big, large corporation. It's just me. And when I talk to sponsors one-on-one, I always go, tell me what you want. I'm the only person you have to deal with. It's always just me. Our goal is always maximize impact, not maximize our attendance. Every year we have a unique perspective on things, whether that's sales and marketing, client acquisition, legal, but the underlying goal for every ASCII conference is like grow your business, make more money, because that's really why all of these attendees are there in the first place. And then as for our sponsorship packages, we don't do big branded cookie cutter media kit things. We do bespoke items. Once we moved to virtual, we started sending out gift boxes. So I can show you real quick. We did these really awesome phone.com branded headphones because they're a VoIP provider. We did a tech Padfolio. There's a phone battery in here for Ignite because why have files in the cloud and still be able to take notes? Kind of makes sense, right? So we went a little bit more bespoke, and that's how we work. We work with our sponsors to do things that make sense. A great one, and I'm going to move my mic for a second here, and I apologize. Extensus is a font company, so why not send a mug with a whole bunch of fonts on it with a card that says, I like my fonts the same way I like my company, my coffee. Bold. Totally works, on brand. Everybody loved it. In fact, I heard the people at Extensus were asking for the mugs. So here's just a quote from one of our attendees. The takeaways are amazing, still improving my business every year that I'm doing this. So the run-up for ACES is this. Like I said, Apple MSP owners, $300 to $1 million in annual recurring. Since 2020, we've gone virtual, which has been actually really helpful for us because instead of doing a 2 or 3 day in-person conference, taking our attendees away from their work, we do what we like to call campfire style. What that is every Thursday in May for 3 to 4 hours, we're all watching conference materials. Attendees are on YouTube, everyone else is on StreamYard, learning and growing. In this way, they don't feel like they're walking away being hit in the face with a fire hydrant. Like they get this, fire hose. They get this information and then they can immediately put it to use that week and come back the next week and learn a little bit more. Our perks, like I said, we do these big giveaway boxes. We've done all of the stuff that I showed you earlier. We send these really awesome big red boxes with our logo on it and things like that. Everything's in there with your contact information. And of course, we give opportunities for you to speak and things like that. And our speakers run the gamut, not only from technology, right? We have a lot of Apple consultants who speak, but we also have a lot of people who are just really good entrepreneurs who speak. As you can see from my list of keynotes here, we have Peter Shanks.
About 30 seconds left, my friend. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. You can see here, ACES has provided the most focused event for Apple consultants worldwide. We're the only one, which is great. So you get a custom sponsorship package, dedicated time, whether you're hosting a roundtable or running a session, things like that. We can do things like lunch, we can do giveaways, we can do whatever you want because again, everything is very bespoke for this list. And another one, the attendees that come are like very invested in the sponsors that are part of the program. If you're sponsoring ACES, there's a reason why we're allowing you in. We want you to be invested with our attendees and same vice versa. And I know I only had like a couple of minutes. Again, I just wanted to thank Matt. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to be here and speak to everybody. If you have any questions, please reach out, justin@acesconf.com. That's me, or I'll throw some other contact information in the chat.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Yeah. I can sense the conferences can feel the heat on these 5 minutes. They now understand the vendors' plight when they have only 3 or 5 minute pitches. So we've got one more pitch today. Andrew, we're going to try one more time. If we're not able to get things to work, I know Caitlin put a couple plugs for GrowCon, and we'll make sure we get information out. But Andrew, we'll try it one more time. Close things out. Yeah, the audio is still not working, unfortunately. But I will tell everybody that I attended GrowCon and had a great experience. But we also are sending out everybody's information post-event, so everybody will have an opportunity to reach out to Andrew and her team if GrowCon is something of interest. Caitlin, maybe we'll put the link one more time in the chat. And what I can tell you from the experience, Andrew and the team really put a focus on, hence GrowCon. It was about MSPs growing their business. So you had really engaged MSPs at this event. The MSPs who were at this event, 100% were invested in marketing, sales, growth. That was the theme of the entire event, thought leadership. So, it was a really fun experience. And what's also, I think, really advantageous from a vendor perspective is it's in December. And there's very few events in December. So when you're trying to build that momentum going into kind of the end of the year or the beginning of 2024, it's a pretty unique opportunity to have that event going in months. So, Andrew, I know I didn't give it the full pitch, but hopefully I did it some justice. And I'll be sure again we'll provide everybody the information. So we appreciate it, you joining today. Sorry it didn't work out there. All right, so we'll close things out. Wow, thank you all. This was a big commitment from everybody to join for 2.5 hours of your time, but it is something unique that Channel Program can bring because of our agnostic community. So I'm going to put my email in the chat. If there's other ideas that you all have as vendors that you want us to do, if you have things you want us to bring together, reach out. We can spitball different ideas. We want to give everybody access as much as we can. And of course, you can reach out to me if you're interested in participating in a program as well. So thank you again to everyone. Thank you backstage, Caitlin and Garrett, for running everything and making this possible. And definitely keep an eye out. We're going to be sending the contact information of every participating vendor that presented today. We will also send out the recording, so if anybody from your team needs to check it out, they'll have that opportunity. And like I said, we'll take some of the feedback from this time around and bring it back later this year when everybody's planning for 2024 budgets. So is that it, Caitlin? Anything else?
I think that's everything.
All right, thank you all. Thanks
Great
for
job,
joining.
Matt.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Good stuff.